Well, good evening, everyone. This is the City of Hannibal Official Council Agenda, Tuesday, November 15, 2022, Council Chambers, 7 p.m. I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
Councilmember Welch.
Here.
Councilmember Beach. Councilmember McCoy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson. Councilmember Franke.
Present.
Mayor Hart.
Here. Okay, there being a quorum present, I'll call this meeting to order. Yes, I'll make a motion. I've got a call this evening from Councilman Beach. He is home, he's ill. We need to keep our thoughts with him tonight. He's very ill. And Mayor Pro Tem Dobson is out of town this evening, so I'm making a motion to excuse him from this evening's proceedings.
So you make a motion? You make a motion? I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Councilman, for us this evening.
Sprung it on me.
Okay. It's okay. From the heart.
Dear God, thank you for letting us all being at this meeting tonight. The thoughts of the citizens up here. Thoughts. Amen.
Councilman Franke, would you lead us in the pledge?
You were going to get to me sometime or another. Yes, thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Council, at this time I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda as it is posted.
I'll move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion over the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now requesting a motion to approve payroll and accounts payable for the first half of November 2022.
So
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion over payroll and accounts payable? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. First item on the agenda is April Azate, 323 North Main.
I just trying to get an update once again on the last meeting. Several were missing, and so I know that we posted it. I had also asked at the end of last meeting for a list of the business or property owners that had been given this survey, and was told that I needed to file a record of request for that, which I actually did today. They're listed together.
I did receive that today, Mayor, and I will work on it. I received it late in the day, about 4, maybe somewhere in that area, so I will work on that tomorrow. And I did not get it.
Yeah, I know you have 7 days to get it done, so no rush on that. I am still extremely bothered by the fact that not every business and or business owner was given the survey, and the fact that several night businesses were not even given this.
April, can I ask you which of these businesses that you can identify?
I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but to me, like, what's your definition of? I'm not trying to be
Oh no,
smart aleck or anything.
this is my question. I'm asking you. Who didn't?
But again, I'm not going to
Sure.
shine a spotlight. To me, like, I just want it to be fair for everybody, and that's where my frustration lies.
I appreciate your
I'm not trying to be a smart aleck at all, but that I've been up here for the same issue, and it's super frustrating because every time I come before you guys, whatever it is, like I'm either having to jump through extra hoops I know nobody else has to, or it's just a whole process. Not like that for everybody.
Right. I appreciate you not naming names because I know a lot of those people down there. But what my thought process is on that is it's been pretty outspoken from the members of council that this is a public lot, which is made for the public and not private use.
But I was also sent a letter saying that if I wanted to put up signs, that I needed to go before council, finally see what I would have to pay. So that's what I was told would happen, and or I needed to get a permit. So I was under the impression I go before you guys would here and sign a lease, and it's gotten pushed back, or a survey needed to be done with other businesses.
I will tell you what I think is fair. I think fair is not giving out private parking spots.
So the second meeting brought up how I'm not parking on Main Street, I'm not parking towards the front, it's towards the back. And it's because I've had issues with my staff followed.
Sure.
And I think from the first meeting, I even offered a solution to
Sure.
this. Nothing was said by anyone. And I offered up solutions. And honestly, I wouldn't just this issue worrying about the safety of my staff if there wasn't so much violence.
Yeah,
And so it's frustrating for me because I do worry about that.
there's a couple of violent things that have happened downtown, but it is not by the standard normal for that to happen downtown. It is. I'll just tell you my point of view on this. If we actually do call for a vote on that tonight, I'm saying no because of all of the feedback that I've gotten from individuals.
And one of the solutions I offered was to just have a sign for festivals, which is predominantly the issue when they're having to walk several blocks. Just festivals. And I couldn't even be.
I recommend that you have your employees park closer to the front of your store. And that's pretty much my stance on that.
But I have towards the back, so there's other people to go to other businesses, bars, restaurants downtown. They don't have to walk.
It's just downtown Hannibal. People walk downtown Hannibal. All of downtown Hannibal. From the riverfront to clear up several blocks on Broadway.
Or anything else, because time's up. This part, so
Yeah, I would like to know what suggested solution to this. I haven't been given one
I
thus
think we
far.
can give a solution.
Can I ask a question? So at the last meeting, I think, and my memory's foggy, sorry, that I don't remember if it was the mayor or the city manager. You said that there was businesses that didn't get any. Encouraged you to reach out to those businesses and have them reach out to City Hall. Have you received anything since the
I
last
have
council
not
meeting?
received anything from anyone stating that they did not receive the survey. And I believe also those individuals were directed to reach out to each of you, and I've not had any of you contact me and tell me that that anyone was complaining they did not receive the survey.
I've talked to a couple business owners. They did receive the survey, and to Colin's point, they were very much not in favor of leasing parking downtown.
And I think it was also discussed that the survey that was conducted wasn't going to be the measure of right or wrong. It's just to get a feel for those who would be downtown, because once you offer a lease to one person, then you've opened the gates. Who else wants to lease? And I think there's some people here that say, hey, if they get a spot, I want a spot. And then
I believe that I think I was the one that actually brought up the survey idea because Ms. Azatea is right. She did come to us and we did talk about potential lease options and things like that. And we kind of hit a brick wall, the consensus amongst us up here. And then so after quite a bit of conversation back and forth, I suggested the survey to see what the pulse of the downtown business owners and the people that live downtown actually were. And I mean, think that's
a
kind of where we're
survey
at
to
today.
give to businesses and property owners, correct?
I don't remember what the word is, but yeah, I mean,
But-
I don't know.
Wouldn't you agree that if you're getting a survey, giving a survey to these individuals, wouldn't you say that it would be fair for all of them to get it?
You know,
I
And
mean,
it's not a
keep
matter of
hearing-
people
yeah.
reaching out
I
to
don't
have
you.
any-
It's the fact that not everybody was given it.
Yeah.
But
Why
I
can't
keep
everybody
hearing
get
this,
it?
but I have yet to hear not one damn bit of evidence of who didn't get it. This has been brought up how many times? Who?
Hey,
Yeah.
easy. Anyway,
I've yet to hear anyone say they didn't get it. And I respect that you don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but if it was that important, they would have come forward.
But they
Somebody
shouldn't
would have
have-
said
they
something.
shouldn't
Don't
have
interrupt
to-
me. Please don't interrupt me. I let you talk. I've sat up here and I've been quiet. I've been polite. But
Be fine.
it's time sometimes for, plain talk to happen. The city manager sent out a survey. She was questioned that she didn't send it to everybody. I don't know how she would exclude some people. She got her list, and she explained how she got her list. She disseminated it. Let's just say you made an error and missed 3 people. And if those 3 people would have voted in the affirmative to lease parking spaces, it still wouldn't raise to the level of being the majority to lease parking spaces. So I'm going to make the motion, we go ahead and call for a vote, whether we should lease parking spaces in the public parking lot of any public parking lot or city parking lot owned by the city in downtown Hannibal.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just have to say, I have to go with, I mean, I came up with the survey. The survey's results were,
I think the survey was very confusing.
So
I just have to go with the survey.
motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. We're not going to lease parking. Next item on the agenda is Steve and Lindsay Ayers. Make sure I get the names right, because I messed up some names the other night, so.
I'm Steve.
I know. All right.
Right, you guys spend way too much time dealing with issues, downtown merchants, so I'll one more while. But this is an easier one, I hope. When he's got the new ordinance for sandwich board signs, signs that businesses would put out in front. There's a variance of it for businesses that are blocked off of the street, that they can have a sign placed down on Main Street with permission of the property. Right? I would like to request, put a sign, my business, there's pottery, down the foot of the parking lot. Behind my business, 300 blocks. And you guys are the property owners. We approached Mark and I approached Lisa, and they said there's nothing in the that allows them to give us permission, so that kind of throws you guys up. Anyway, for years, Richard Gary had a sign in that location, and I think one of the reasons why this variance was placed was for Richard Gary. He has sold his business, and anyway.
You cut to the chase. You want that spot.
We get a fraction of the traffic that you do on Main Street. And we get a fraction of the traffic. So, be interested in this spot.
Exactly again, where is the location that you want to put your sign?
There's three kind of alcoves with the planters and benches down right at the edge of the sidewalk. I think that's what Richard used to put his sign in the center alcove. I think there's a couple planters and a bench in that area. So it's not in a parking spot. It's in that.
Like if this was a parking lot, this is that's set back from the sidewalk, there's a bench and a planter, set it sign like right here. And so the room really for two, because we have this spot in
That's real that's real close to between the bench and the water fountain, right?
Yes.
I remember where it was.
Yep.
I knew I should have taken a picture.
You did it.
It's on this map, but it's really hard to see.
Right.
Anyway, another thing with this ordinance is that we used to have a feather flag in our business, and the new ordinance gets rid of feather flags. I was in favor of on Main Street. I think that's right. Main Street is already too crowded. We're not crowded at all. We don't have trees. We don't have a trash can. We don't have planters. We're like the only business that's ever opened in my block. So,
With all the new boat traffic, I think
Right.
it
anyway, this is a simple request, but you guys are the property owners, so I'd like to ask you to have permission to a standard sign at that location.
Hey, Steve, I do have one question.
Sure.
Sorry if you said it already. What's a feather flag?
You know, arch and
Like a
waving
nylon.
open sign.
Okay.
They call them
Tall and narrow.
Say that one more time.
Tall and narrow.
Oh, okay.
but they're flat.
I gotcha.
Use it like on a,
Like a ribbon attached to a pole.
Like a ribbon.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Sorry. I didn't mean to, I didn't know.
wire.
A 10-foot tall, a 10-foot
Typically like
tall
a
feather.
They're tall, they're taller. There's the,
Okay.
which, man, Third Street is not an issue.
Uh-huh.
I agree that
We got rid of
the poles are typically fiberglass and they kind of wave a little bit and stuff.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean for that big of a tangent.
that's the sign that did have a area back.
Well, if it's not obstructing traffic view or pedestrian traffic, then, well, then turnabout is fair play.
Yeah.
Well, if they can have billboards and flags up on Third, you should be able to have the same on Main.
They're just wanting the sandwich board for now. We'll,
Yeah, I'm not.
we could put a pin in the feather for now.
I'm just saying I used to have one.
Yeah.
I now don't.
So with that, is there a motion to approve the placing of the sidewalk sandwich board for city property?
Make a motion to approve that flag placement.
Stefan, you're a
Yeah, I'll second.
second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the interpretation.
Do you just have one point of clarification to what Steve said? I just want to make sure that you guys are correct. It's just you and Great River Brewing that, based on the guidelines that are set up in the ordinance or whatever for those sandwich boards, you guys are the only two businesses that could potentially need that space.
Yeah. They-
Gift shop. alley.
But I think they would.
But they would go on the other,
too,
right.
Because,
I agree
well,
with
yeah,
you.
at that point, you're like a block and a half.
But if they put a sign, location,
They like flags is up there, but they'd be.
I just want to make sure that we're fair, and if we let you do it, and then we have 10 other businesses say, well, we could put one there too.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I see what you're saying. No, I mean, that's,
That is.
yeah.
no, I'm good with it.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. Next on the agenda is Corey Mahaffey, Hannibal Regional Economic Development Council.
Mayor, Council, I believe October 4th, I believe, was the last time we talked about the community improvement district boundaries. At that meeting, there was a request for one change to those boundaries, so we worked with the county's GIS group to make that change. Sent that back to make sure that we understood council's direction properly. Prepared a memo. I believe. See that does include that. So asking council the final boundaries for the proposed community district to see. Happy to answer questions.
I don't have any questions, but I have a comment. Thank you for the colored map. That is,
Actually, I just listened.
well, thank you, Melissa. It's much more understandable.
You embarrassed her now. Are any questions?
I do have one quick question. Corey's going to throw something at me. The property that's on South Main that the city owns all throughout that area, I understand it's in a floodplain and there's really no development that'll ever happen there. If there were to be, any fairs or festivals or any special events in that area that we bring in outside vendors, things of that nature that would be paying tax to the city, if that area was included in the SID, would that be some potential extra income for the SID?
Sales tax associated with this. I'm not sure. It's flood buyout properties. I'm sure.
But so, if, like, for example, like the carnival for the JCs or whatever, there's been discussion of running it down. The Boy Scouts used to do the carnival on South Main years ago, probably about my Boy Scout time. But
Flood buyout.
I don't want to sound greedy, but I just don't want to leave anything on the table if there's an opportunity to incorporate that,
Certainly some research.
if there would be any benefit to it. But if you don't think there is, I mean, this is, for me personally, this looks good.
It's going to be governed by the agreements that we signed with them when they gave us the money. There were 2 rounds of this. The agreements are a little bit different. I don't have them memorized. I knew what they said at the time. I think you've probably got a valid point. But quite frankly, we'd have to take a look and read both agreements to figure it out. And if it's real focused, we can.
I don't even know if there'd be enough meat on the bone to even mess with it, because there's nothing planned, I don't think, right now down there for entertainment purposes or fairs or carnivals, anything like that. But just in the future, because I do know that, and correct me if I'm wrong, once this is established and set, the boundaries are set permanently. We cannot
Correct.
alter
The only
those.
way to make any changes to the establish an additional. That's something. Yeah.
I mean, I hate that, and that's why I said you're going to throw something at me, and I apologize for not thinking about it sooner, but I was just looking at the map here, and
That's council decision. Some research.
Just mentioned that it's be possible to create another community improvement district just for one area.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it continuing on as have it as right now. But if there's any,
I'm not opposed to that
Objections.
either. I don't leave any money on the table for some potential income for, not just the city, but for the SID and the downtown development.
Reality, create another SID just with that.
right?
I don't think.
Sure.
Situation. So I'm not sure that area,
Right.
unless you include someplace else.
Right.
See.
I'm going to leave it up to you on if you would like us to go ahead and proceed, or if you'd like to research that and bring it back and present again. I don't want to keep putting this off either. Get the desk cleared.
Corey, you have my support. Whatever you want.
I believe there's ample time to make those changes. recent past. And it's happened, it's already had additions just recently. And I also agree that this map is good and set.
Ask CBB. Do they have any decision?
Megan?
I mean, I support it the way it is. I just was, I mean,
I'll make
Be-
a
being
motion,
a-
we go ahead and,
go ahead.
motion to go ahead and approve it as it's presented to us this evening.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Got it. Okay, council, under my name now is approval of reappointment to Police and Fireman Retirement Board for a second reading. Mr. John Dean, reappointment for a term to expire December of 2025. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next, I'd like to address the outdoor liquor ordinance in the historic district. Brief little thing here so I don't get tongue-tied or lose my place. On November 4th, 2022, the State of Missouri liquor agent visited several alcohol-serving establishments in our downtown historic district. The story from the majority of the owners is the state agent came in, purchased a beer, and left the establishment and went into the street. Came back in and advised the attendant or the bartender that they were in violation of state liquor laws. The case of Jackpot Junction, sorry to call anybody out, but it's facts, state record. The attendant even showed the state inspector the boundary limit signs of the city permitted open liquor control area. The state inspector advised the attendant that state law trumps city law. One of the accused stated that he understood that he'd have to appear in Jeff City on the charge. Mayor Pro Tem Dobson's been in contact with the owners, managers of the accused violators who advised him the matter would be taken up by myself this evening. And I believe some of those people are here tonight because, let's face it, they want guidance. When we, the city council, passed this ordinance, the city attorney researched the issue and assured the council that we are a charter city and we're within our rights to enact such an ordinance. I, for one, agreed with his opinion. I see this done in streets of St. Charles. I see it done at Herman. There's other communities, I'm sure, that have similar setups, and it's done. I've got a little heartburn now why the state's coming in. I understand the city attorney's position now that he cannot represent each individual establishment owner in this cause. But I feel that we as a council have an obligation to tax-paying businesses to at least instruct the city attorney to see where the liquor control aid, and I think you've probably already done this, is there a right or wrong here? We either need to
I can address it
know.
right now, Mayor.
Okay.
Here's the deal. Their licenses are subject to state approval. They were writing them tickets that were regarding a violation of state law. Those tickets would be prosecuted right here in Marion County. What they did, they wrote them administrative tickets, which have to do with their liquor licenses. They're subject to control of their liquor licenses, and while I don't personally liquor control's interpretation, it's not appropriate for me to take a stance against the state of Missouri because we're a subdivision of the state of Missouri. As a charter city, we absolutely have the right to say we're not going to enforce open container laws in a particular area. We could say we're not going to enforce open container laws anywhere. There is no state law which requires us to have an open container law. There absolutely have been cities in the past, Columbia, Missouri, for instance, did not have an open container law for years and years, but they got enough pressure from the state that they went in and changed it. Issue that bar owners have is, what is their responsibility to police their patrons? Do they have an obligation to tackle people when they're going out the door? Do they have an obligation to say, hey, stop? Do they have an obligation to call the police? What would be the charge that the police would charge the people under? Because we don't have any open container laws there. I received a phone call from somewhere at the state liquor control, and it was a lady. I didn't ask her to identify herself, or she did, I don't remember anymore. And I was advised that we were breaking the law. And my response was, well, I don't believe we are. I researched this issue when we did it. I find no state law which requires us to have open container law anywhere in the city. I find no state law which prohibits open containers other than for a driver of a vehicle. If you guys will tell me what law you believe it is we're breaking, I'll take it back up with our council. I never heard anything. That's been months ago. I would suggest to you here, because we had a death downtown, and there have been allegations that it was involved in bars and blah, blah, blah. And I would suggest to you, they're here because of that. Now, I believe that the bar owners probably should have legal counsel and should probably ask liquor control to identify for them exactly what they believe their obligations are under the liquor license, because my concern would be, these are the guys that have the right to yank their liquor license if they believe there's a violation. These administrative fines are just chicken feed. Big teeth they have is they go, we're going to yank your license. So I would suggest, and I've told a couple of the bar owners, because they've asked me, that what I think needs to happen is either they need to do whatever the state tells them to do, or they need to hire legal counsel and they need to push back.
Like I said, my big concern was we don't want to send mixed signals. I pick on somebody, Scott, sitting out here in the audience. Scott says, hey, do you all arrest people? Can they drink up and down the street? Well, sure. I'm not going to enforce it in the historic district. April, like, you have people come and go. Right.
These are excellent questions that I think you all ought to think about, getting one attorney to ask that question, because he came to you all as a group and said, okay, you're all being bad. Yeah. Well, he was. I mean, look, he clearly was.
Oh, he skipped the VFW? Oh, now I see how it is.
Okay. And again, the problem is, my disagreement with him as to what a bar owner's responsibility is doesn't matter, because they've got the right to yank your all's liquor licenses. And so that's why I suggest, one or two of you, I had suggested, really y'all ought to talk together, because he came and enforced against all of you, and I really think you all ought to have one attorney deal with it, and I believe it's appropriate for me to share with your attorney any information I have, and I can certainly give the city's position, because again, when they contacted us months ago, I didn't tell them no. I just said, I believe you're incorrect, and if you show me what you think we're violating, I'll go back and talk to the council, and because we certainly don't want to violate the law, but I anticipate that they checked, they decided I was right, and they decided, well, but we don't like this, so the way we're going to handle it is we'll go after the bar owners, because ultimately we hold their licenses, and if they don't do what we say, we can yank their licenses. For the open. Right. You, in my legal opinion, and again, I'm not representing you guys, but the issue is I created that ordinance, and that has to do with having an open container extension to your license where, as you know, they have to buy the liquor inside, but then they can consume it outside in a restricted area, which has to. Right. And that was and that's should be absolutely permissible, because if you've got permission from the owner of the ground, which would be the city owning the sidewalk, and the city has specified specific areas, that's the same as a lease, and leasehold property you absolutely can serve liquor on, and that's why we felt it was appropriate and legal, and that's why we took the position when we originally did the addendum to the licenses to allow you to serve at the tables out front. That was our theory on it. In regards to not enforcing open container, that had to do with, and I'll call Paul out, but Paul came and it was for, they were having a festival, and Chief Davis at the time said, you know, we do this every time. Is it possible that we could just say, in this area where we have the festivals, we won't enforce open container? I didn't know, so I went and did the research at the time, and I said, I find no state law that requires us to have an open container prohibition in that area. That's how the ordinance came about.
Same as you asked the law
Well,
that shows
and I
it
wasn't,
now.
and it wasn't even asking, it wasn't like I was belligerent. I'm just like, I don't agree with you, and here's why I don't agree. We researched it, but if I'm wrong, I'm not so arrogant as to think I'm always right. If I'm wrong, tell me what law it is we're violating. You know, I can tell you what law they're alleging you guys are violating, is that what the law says is that the type of license that most of you all have, which is a liquor by the drink, says for consumption on the premises. And I guarantee they're hanging their hat on that, and I agree the law says that. The law says consumption on premises. But there's nothing in the statute that says, and if somebody leaves your premises, you better tackle them. It doesn't say that. Now, is that subject to their interpretation? Well, exactly. And I haven't researched it, and I don't know if there's any case law regarding what the individual bar owner's responsibility is vis-a-vis a patron, but we have the absolute right to say we're not going to prosecute those patrons if they have the liquor out in the street. The state making it the bar owner's problem has to do with they don't like it, and they have the absolute ability to yank people's licenses. But the question is, can they do that within the confines of what you all are doing?
Right.
There is a statute on point in the liquor control laws that you can do, and I haven't researched it closely. It has to do with setting up it's not specifically a festival, but you designate an area. It's an area. There's a lot of hoops you have to jump through. Issue number one. And issue number two, as I recall, because I haven't looked at it in a long time, but as I recall, there may be some specifications regarding you have to have a certain population. You may have to take a vote of the people. I can look at that. But yes, you're right. There is an additional provision. It's it's called something like a tourism district or something like that. Yeah, that's it. It's an entertainment. But the city has to do it, and you have there's yeah. Right. So now they're going to go to St. Charles and going to say, Paul Llewellyn told us to come check on you. Again, I certainly don't think you all should ignore them. And I don't know if you've gotten any response from them, et cetera, et cetera. But again, I can only tell you what I've researched and what I find. But again, they're their own agency, and they're going to take whatever position they want to take.
My main purpose is bringing it up. Councilman Dobson had mentioned it as well. That through his research and talking with individuals, to ensure that what we did pass was legally sound still at this point, that something hadn't changed, because I know how things get passed, and I want to make sure that we weren't in violation by passing it, because if we were, then we would rescind it. At the same time, I wanted to have the open conversation so that those in attendance tonight who are interested in this topic have a little more insight on where the city's ordinance is lying, and possibly some recommendations how you all move forward. I, for one, would be interested in seeing the specific details of what I violated. And you bring up a good point. How do you police that? Because I know if somebody walks out of your business carrying a drink, they go out in the street, call the police, that's not going to work out. If you go and tackle them yourself, well, how's that going to work? They're going to say you hurt them. They're going to try to sue you for your business. I mean, come on. Right.
But what are you going to do if they call what are you going to do if Chad and Jill call the police? We haven't. What if they call the police? We have an ordinance. So if I'm the patron and I walk out and Chad says, "Daryl, get back here. You can't leave." I just look at him and walk out. He calls the police. The police can't do anything to me. We have an ordinance that I can have an open container down there, right?
Well, and technically,
no violation.
Technically, we have an ordinance that says you can't have liquor any place except on Main Street. We don't actually have an ordinance that says you can have liquor on Main Street, and that ought to let you know that I'm right in that we didn't try to pass something saying, "Hey, we're designating a special area where you can have liquor." No, all our ordinance says is we're not going to have an open container area there. Every other place in Hannibal, you can't have open container. Ours is not a grant, it is a lack of prohibition. What's that? The street is a closed street that's owned by the city. So the city, every time they have that, they have to come and ask. What they have doing lately is they'll come and ask for every event. They'll present it all at once. Back when they first started doing it, they would come every time and ask. But now they just ask. I can't promise you what the inspector will say or do, but I will tell you if that's city property, again, it's the property owner can grant permission for you to serve alcohol on their property as part of the lease or grant. I can tell you when organizations apply for a festival license, they have to show that the city has given them permission to have alcohol on the area, or if it's on private property, you have to show a copy of your lease that specifies that you have to that you've been given permission to have liquor on the premises. But that every time sure, but part of that license application. Right. That would be up to liquor control and your license, because, I mean, they've got control of your license, they've got the ability to say, you know, whatever, but again, I would point out, no one was written a state ticket because there were no state laws violated per se. It has to do with an administrative ticket and administrative potential suspension of your license. So that'd be my concern. City judge is calling me. Could I step out for just a sec?
I guess if you must. I didn't have any further topic. Just want some clarification from the city attorney. And yeah. And you know, it'll be, I'm going to ask the council support from the city research further. Sure.
More time. The way I'm understanding it, there is no state law. But we do have a state ordinance that does allow. I do agree with him that these businesses have been good to out. I also agree that there can also be a city fight with the state. Figure out where the misconception is, other than just individual liquor. The city has approved something that the state hasn't outlawed. No question. That's the fight, I think.
And that was kind of where I was going with my motion for him to do some research into the matter to ensure that if we have passed something that's not in violation, then we need to take the appropriate steps to show that we're correct. And if we, look, everyone makes mistakes. If we pass something that is in conflict or in error, then we have a duty and a responsibility to rescind that and to let everybody know so that we're not impacted negatively. That was my motion. There's a second.
Second.
Did you get that?
I did.
Hot dog. All right. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Obligations. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all coming tonight. So with that, that's everything under my name. Next on the agenda is Darryl McCoy, First Ward Council Member.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I was just looking to see if you had any information you could share with the council and on the impeachment hearing. We're coming up close to a year since this whole thing started. Not quite a year, but I've had some phone calls of recent asking what the city's position is, what's going on, how much cost the city's incurred in this matter from the taxpayers, a couple of constituents of mine, and so I told them I would ask for an update.
Sure. The most recent update I've received course, the matter is before the Associate Supreme Court in Judge Jackson's venue. Judge Jackson has not established a date as of today. I think there were some different scenarios and when they could do this date. I have nothing saying when it will be. It'd be proper for me to say when or this would occur, but I do know that the special counsel and respondents counsel are in discussions about that. That's all I have. And as far as cost incurred, not exactly sure what the cost incurred. I know there's a significant cost for respondent and city, and like the citizens and everyone involved. I would like to see this matter taken care of.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we've talked a lot about accountability and transparency in the last several weeks, and so this is
And
should fall under that
it's
as well.
It's a fair question to ask, and sadly, once the Associate Circuit Court places it in their venue, that removes the city from setting the times, make things more expedient. However, that's the ruling of the Associate Circuit. Must honor that. Fair?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
Yeah, I can respond to that.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Actually, Mr. Mayor, all of what you said is not entirely true. On October 18th, Judge Jackson reached out to counsel for both parties asking for dates. And since I'm the defendant, we are not going to commit to a schedule until the prosecutor advises us of available dates she has for hearings and depositions. And since October 18th, the prosecutor has not made any effort to establish any dates at all whatsoever.
Okay. To me as well. Anything else?
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
On October 28th, I submitted a settlement offer to the mayor. He has not responded or acknowledged the settlement offer. Today, filed a motion for the court to tell the city, produce documents that they have been illegally withholding since February 11th. Sorry about that, Daryl.
It's good.
Digital copies. Okay. And copies available via mayor. Your attorney. I'm done.
I just want a quick follow-up. Documents you provided to the other council persons here, they've been sent to the special prosecutor.
Yes, correct.
Okay, great. That's what I need.
Great, thank you. Say that again?
And
Does the clerk have a copy for the
can
record?
you have one possible?
That's the way it works.
Right. So now, actually, you're on the agenda next for, says accountability and transparency, I believe, something to do with recording device or.
Yes, absolutely. I try to walk the walk, so I attached a memo just to let everybody know what I was doing before we got here tonight, unlike some people. So, has anybody here ever tuned into the YouTube channel for City Council? Can you guys, excuse me? Oh, wow, we just had so much of that, so I thought I could participate too.
Go ahead and continue.
Oh, thank you, I appreciate it. It's untenable. I mean, watching the YouTube videos online, you don't really get anything out of it. I'm sure everybody who's tried can attest to that. Furthermore, for some of our elderly folks in the room, it is even hard to hear when you are in council chambers. So it's not only the video connection, you know, online, and sorry, I'm not a tech guy, so I don't know how to describe all this stuff real well, but it's also in the room itself. Speaking into the microphones certainly helps, but the technology needs to be updated. As City Council, I think we have a responsibility to break down as many barriers to participation as possible. One of those is updating our audiovisual system. City clerk provided somewhat of an explanation, but my whole thing is I don't want to ask people to commit to this. I would like to ask people to commit to researching a price, a firm price to the dollar, an actionable bid. That way, when it comes time for the budget, we can decide whether or not this is something we value. If you want to know what a city cares about, look at their budget. I would like this to be in the budget. So there might be further discussion. But for now, I make a motion that we instruct the city manager to research the costs of updating our audiovisual system, both for the YouTube page and for in City Hall for the patrons who are here in person. What I got?
I've received numerous requests to improve the YouTube quality and the video quality. It seems to be a recurring issue. I second that.
So there's a motion and a second to research, further discussion.
Absolutely. I agree 100% with Councilman Franke on this issue. One of the few things that him and I probably agree on, but I do. The thing I do disagree with about is I would like to see, I don't call it the burden, put on the city clerk's office. The city clerk's office is the custodian of records. They're the ones that are responsible for maintaining the official record, which they use the audiovisual, you got me? Equipment for. So they're the ones that are going to be using it to transcribe, to do all that stuff with. So personally, I'd like to see that office have some buy-in or take the lead on what equipment they feel like would be the best suited, and then include that in the update as far as the audiovisual. And they can reach out to their resources that, you know, our tech guys at the police department, things like that, are gurus at that. But
So, for the sake of clarification, you are, and I'm totally fine with it, I don't care either way. You're saying I might want to amend my motion to make the city clerk do it, not the city manager?
I think the city clerk's the one that's going to be using it all the time. I think that just makes the most sense to let the city clerk's office take the lead on it.
Okay, well,
I actually support that.
I'll make a motion to amend my motion.
You said that.
I'm good.
Got it.
Technically,
Oh.
not.
Oh.
No, I'm not.
James,
I'm not going
I'm
to mess
sorry.
with you. No, I'm not going to mess with you. But technically, once you have a second has to consent to it.
There's one.
Oh, okay.
That, yeah. Technically.
And I do.
Okay.
I presumed you would. But just to do it right, record.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Got it.
Got it. promise, I got it. We're good.
Second time doing this. Good job. And I'll go ahead and make a call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next is Lisa Peck. Don't know that this is really pertinent, except go ahead and continue.
Yeah, I
now.
just want to reiterate one final time that I have not been contacted by anyone else saying that they did not receive a survey. So no one, despite being encouraged to reach out, has reached out to me, and I believe I checked earlier, and nobody had reached out to council members about it being excluded from the survey.
And we'll go to our police chief, Jacob Naki.
I'm here tonight to basically ask for permission. There is an American Rescue Plan Act grant application that is due first part of December. Part of that, there is a match. Currently, the state of Missouri is administering $10 million, or right at $10 million from law enforcement as part of federal funding to be divvied out by the state. We would like to apply for this grant, which would be maximum of $20,000 of the $20,000 match. And we'd be using it for computer upgrades, increase our security. We have a lot of computers that are older, are still older version of Windows, which aren't by security measures. So we upgrade security computers.
And Chief, I know you're new in the seat and stuff, but I'm sure you can answer this question. Try. Do you have budgeted line items for this type of purchasing?
We apply this money available.
Right.
This is something we put off for several years.
Cut from
We've
the
kind of
capital.
bought computers as we could. I can attest to it. I used a computer today and functional. And it's very frustrating to use. So, but really, it's something we put off, and we've tried to buy a computer here and there, but buying a computer is $1,000 close to it. So this would get us 50% of that funding. Sure.
Well, hey, Chief, free money's great. Free money applied to things we need is even better. So thanks for being on top of this.
So is there a motion to approve the chief to apply for this?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried, chief.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have another chief, Ryan Nyson. So I need to start saying fire or police chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Similar to Chief Naki, under the American Rescue Plan Act grant funding, there's a law enforcement portion, there's a fire protection portion. Law enforcement gets $10 million, fire protection gets $10 million. Same thing, $20,000 match, $20,000 grant money. Other than computers, we are looking at upgrading our vehicle extrication equipment. This is stuff that we've had for about 15 years. We're looking to upgrade that equipment, some newer stuff. This is also similar to Chief Naki, to kind of piggyback on what he's saying. This is stuff pushed off over the last few years that we haven't been able to purchase. So this would take care of probably at least half of our equipment. And then we are working on other grants and funding sources to try to acquire the other half of it. So he said this is coming up in December. application.
Motion to
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Other than to please think back to what I said to the other chief and apply it to you. So thank you.
I don't want 15-year-old equipment saving my life.
It still works, but make sure.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief. Megan Rapp, Director, HVCB.
I'm here in regards to the resolution to move forward to the discovery phase of website development. I first want to note again that the CBB's revenue does not come from the general fund, or funded collection of lodging tax from hotels. Our goal is to bring visitors to Hannibal, which adds to the general fund through visitor spending and sports. VisitHannibal.com is our lead informational promoting the Hannibal community domestically and internationally. Almost all of our advertising points potential to our website. Marketing Platform Development Grant, we have an unprecedented opportunity to create a website created by a company who specializes in travel and tourism sites. Created an RFP to ensure we got proposals from companies that have years of experience working with state tourism departments, tourism entities, and designated marketing organizations and CBBs like Hannibal. This ensures the companies know the needs of tourism entities and have years of research in creating websites that convert web visitors to physical visitors. A few key benefits from creating a website will be the fact that the current website was not built with first user design. Our current analytics show each month that over 75% of our website visitors are devices. The website's complete redesign will be designed to attract and inspire to become actual visitors, increasing visitation through easier navigation, increasing visuals to appeal to visitors, less text-heavy pages and more inspirational content, a calendar of events that can pull information from pre-approved sources, allowing the CBB to have the most up-to-date calendar of events possible, and to also work with our customer relationship management software. The company OBP estimates that the new website will meet our needs in years to come. Complete rebuild on the WordPress platform, OBP architects their sites to be extendable and modular, which are able to change as our capabilities grow so that a new website rebuild will not be necessary. OBP is also the agency that oversees the Missouri Division of Tourism website as well as their advertising. This would not be possible without the Missouri Division of Tourism's Marketing Platform Development Grant, which is tourism relief funding. The two sealed bids that both gave tiered pricing for a new website with options for add-ons and customized integration. Both bids gave a range of estimated pricing depending on the customizations that we need. So the exact price will be known after the discovery phase. We meet to discuss in detail what is needed from a wireframe building perspective, basically what needs to be custom built and be modified from existing created WordPress plugins. After careful review of the bids, follow-up calls, Zoom meetings, and emails to answer any questions from CBB staff, we recommend moving forward in the discovery phase of website development with the OBP agency, bringing back a finalized contract and resolution for the mayor to sign after discovery phase, allow us to have a set price, not exceeding.
Said it all in one breath.
Yeah. I'm out of breath listening.
Try to answer any.
I don't have any questions per se, but I do have a few comments. And man, oh man, just to be honest, like that price is astronomical. I'm not a tech guy. I don't have any experience with any of this stuff. I do know that in my private life, my business owns, we have a website. We have an app. It gets updated daily. And it did not cost near this much, but it does different things, and different technology applications have different needs. Furthermore, I understand that of this $110,000, 75% of it is being covered by a grant, so that leaves the city with $27,500. Furthermore, I trust our director, and if she says we need this and she can give us a good explanation, then I trust her on that. And she was kind enough to call me today. And a few of my takeaways were that while we did update the website a number of years ago, it was kind of like, to borrow something from the mayor, putting lipstick on a pig. I'd never heard that before him, and now I love it. But in other words, it's like putting wallpaper over a hole in the wall. It was a renovation, which made it hard to update for the future. And the new website is like knocking down the house, rebuilding a new foundation, and it will make further updates in the future easier. It will make the website longer, so we have to invest less in the future. Additionally, it has a cool feature that will integrate a whole bunch of different calendars, so all the different city event calendars can live in one website. And then the most compelling thing, as a 31-year-old who, again, doesn't know anything about tech, but I'm 31, so I do use it, is that the new website is going to be much more mobile friendly. That does not mean an app, that just means easier to use on the website. I loved all those explanations, and I appreciate the director reaching out to express those goals, and so she has my support tonight.
Councilman Franke is correct. The last complete knockdown, as put it, of the website, a complete review done in, I believe, 2015. All that sounds not too long ago in the technology world. That's about a million years ago. And so the reskin that was done about 2018, put a new face on it, but it didn't take it back to right.
Is there any outstanding costs on our current internet provider host?
No, currently we don't have any type of
Contract or outstanding
contract,
balances?
or we currently don't have a site company. We have our website, we do all the updates. With the new website, we will be able to do that. That's why we insisted that it be press. We don't have a monthly or an annual contract from an outside company to get our plugins, to make sure that everything in the back end is working, which is we have no outside.
Good, thank you.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Megan.
Thank you.
Bad. I didn't type quite as fast.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, council, we now have before us bill number 22-030. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading. Adoption.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Bill number 22030, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal revising Chapter 29 subdivisions, Article 2, plat approval, Division 2 preliminary plat of the revised ordinance of the City of Hannibal by revoking Section 29-56 contents and enacting a new Section 2956 in its place. Second and final reading. Councilmember Phillips?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Councilmember Franke?
Yes.
And Mayor Hart.
Yes. Declare bill number 22-030 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now have bill number 22-031. Motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading. Adoption.
I'll move.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Bill number 22031, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal approving and accepting the final plat of the Vista Way subdivision, a subdivision being part of the Lot 5 in the Hook Addition Second Revision, lying in part of the lots 1 through 10 and Hook Addition lying in part of the east half of Section 24, Township 57, North, Range 5 West of the 5th Principal Meridian, Marion County, Missouri. Second and final reading. That was. Councilmember Phillips,
Yes.
Councilmember Welch,
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy,
Yes.
Councilmember Franke,
Aye.
and Mayor Hart.
Yes. Declare Bill number 22-031 duly approved, adopted on this day. We now have Bill number 22-032. Motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading for adoption.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Bill number 22-032, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal rezoning a tract of land being part of Lot 5, the Hook Addition, second revision, lying in part of Lots 1 through 10, in Hook Addition lying in parts of the east half of the Section 24, Township 57, North Range 5, west of the 5th Meridian, in the City of Hannibal, Marion County, Missouri, from B multiple family to E commercial zoning district and amending the city zoning map accordingly. Second and final reading. Councilmember Phillips,
Yes.
Councilmember Welch,
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy,
Yes.
Councilmember Franke,
Yes.
Mayor Hart.
Yes. Declare Bill number 22-032 duly approved and adopted on this day. Council, at this time, when there's a request to go into closed session in accordance with our SMO 610.021, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 12, and 13, admitting myself, council, city manager, city attorney, city clerk. It's a, yes.
Mayor, the contract is considered, so.
Okay. And that's paragraph.
I don't know. I don't have it pulled up from me. 610-021. One is legal. I know that one.
Okay.
That's the only one I know off the top of my head.
Need under contract. With that said, motion to approve bill to close.
Second. Oh, but, sorry. I'll make a motion.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
I'll second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you for your attendance this evening. Close. Yes.
I have a few questions for you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yes, he did. Yeah. He turned in his resignation, took a position with the Hannibal Regional Hospital. Yeah.
Second, I set up a